Hello there guys. So today in today's video we are going to take a look at how the the complete step-by-step process where we can draw this particular PNID of the C201, E305 as well as E306. So these are the structures that we will need to actually learn how to draw. So the first thing is that one of the basics things, let us go through the fundamental first, which is in order for us to actually create this in order for us to actually create this structure, first we need to create a line. So just click on this button right here, as you can see, and then from here you can just stretch it down all the way to the bottom like this. Okay, and that is how you create a line, and that is how you draw a line. And then after that we will also need a curvature. So for this particular, because we need to actually draw a vessel, right, some sort of a vessel. So from here to here we will need to make some I think an arc. But first I think that I would highly recommend for all of you guys to actually determine the width of the column that you plan to actually draw, so that you'll be able to make the process of drawing the arc easier later on in the future. So you can just click here and then just click it like that, and then once you're already done it, just kindly press the escape button so that you'll be able to actually stop from drawing. Stop the program from drawing lines. And then from here we would like to actually make some curvature, so just click this arc button right here, and then you can click from here, and then we will need to specify the second point of the arc, which means that we need to specify the center of the arc. So in this case we can just put it here so that we'll be able to actually join it around here. But you can see, okay, so you can see there's a little bit of a flaw there, so you can just press the undo button so that you'll be able to redo it back again. So just like I showed you previously, just click this. That's the first point, that's the initial point that you will plan to actually need to click on, and then followed by the middle of the arc, middle point of the arc, which is somewhere here, and followed by the third point of the arc, which should be here. But I think that there's an unwanted curvature right there, so I think that let's try to do it one more time. It's normal for you to actually try to redraw it back again and again and again, because it's actually quite how can I say, it's quite hard for us to get the desired there we go. Yes, so you have to actually try multiple times so that you'll be able to have a proper curvature right there. Okay, and then we will also need to, let's take a look, we also need to actually draw this curvature right here. So in this case we will, but I think that we will need to extend a little bit, because yeah, I think that we should extend this a little bit. So we can just, hang on, alternatively, if you want to actually move something, right, you can just always click this line first, and then you click this particular line, this area, so that you'll be able to actually move it anywhere to the desired location, to the desired point that you want. But in this case I will try to actually just to simplify this process, I will just delete it, and I'll try to actually lengthen this from here to here, and the same goes for this one right there, somewhere there. And then we're gonna have to actually draw another line so that we'll be able to actually join them together right there. And then from here, hang on, lengthen all the way, and then we're gonna have to trim this extra point. So in order for you to, if you like to actually trim, because these are the unwanted component, this thing right here, this, I mean, not the entire line, but this one, this and this, these are the unwanted components that we would like to actually remove. So one of the things that we can do is we can trim them. So you can just click trim, and I mean on the trim button right there, and then you have to actually select all of the components or lines that are involved, which in this case is this line here, the vertical as well as the horizontal line. And then once you have selected all the objects that are involved in this particular trim process, then you just press enter, and then you can click on the part in which you would like to actually trim. So there we go, we already trimmed the unwanted parts from our vessel. So that's the thing. And then if we would like to remove this one, just remove like that. I mean, you can just click it, and then you can just press the delete button on your keyboard. That's the shortcut to simplify the process of deleting any unwanted objects. So, and then we will also need to actually create another arc. So the same goes for this one. So that's the first point, and then you have to actually I don't know, estimate the second point and try to see if it matches, which in this case it does match. That's a perfect one. Alright, so we would like to actually delete this because we don't want this. So you can just use that button, this eraser button right here, just in case you don't want to actually, I mean, if you're not comfortable using the delete button, then you can always use the eraser button. Okay, and then let's take a look at this line here, because this line is red, right? So this is the red line. Okay, just in case we would like to actually make it a little bit more colorful, then we may proceed to do so by clicking this right here, and then you right click this particular line that you would like to actually color, and then you go to properties, and then there should be yes, and this particular windows will pop up, and then under the color section you can just click on this button right here, and then followed by the the color that you want, so which in this case is red. And there we go, and then we can just press this to close the windows. So there we have it, a little bit of, you know, the approximate of what we have here. And then we will also need to actually on this rectangle thing right here, so we can just draw that rectangle first. I'm not sure what is that, but let us try to imitate what has been given to us. So which in this case is this one. It should be something like this, but you can always, just in case you're not sure, you can just place it right here, and then just place it right here, click right there, so that we'll be able to actually trim this part later on. So you can, after you already click that, you just press the escape button so that you'll be able to actually prevent the application from creating more lines. Okay, and then we can just press it here, and then press it. Oh, hang on, before that we will need to actually, don't forget to click the trim button first, and then we will need to actually select all the components, all the lines that are involved in this trimming process, which in this case this line and this line right here. So, and then after that, you just press the enter button, and then you just delete, you just trim the unwanted component, such as this one and this one. There we have it. We have a lid just like that. And then just in case, as you can see here, I did manage to draw some color to give it a little bit of texture right there. So in order for us to actually fill this, you can just select this object from here to here, and then oh no, you just have to actually click this button right here. This is a hatch button, so you just click that. Just click that. Hang on, my PC is kind of a bit of laggy at the moment. And then we have to pick the internal point, which is this one and this one. But then, as you can see from here, that there's a little bit of transparency compared to this one, because this one is like opaque. You can't barely see anything, right? Whereas this one, you can actually see a little bit of hidden lines that is available behind this particular rectangle, right? So which in this case, if you would like to actually make this part transparent, we can just use this one. I mean, hang on, yeah, you can just set the hatch transparency to actually approximately 50%, so that we'll be able to actually make it a little bit more transparent. So you just drag the transparency bar right here, just like this. Should be 50. Alright, and then we can proceed to go with solid by layer, and we can just, yeah, there you go. And we already have some transparency compared to the previous white color that we chose, right? There's opaque, we can barely see anything. So that's how I actually did it in this particular drawing. And then we can just, you know, create this particular line, the center line right here, as you can see, a long center line, which is this one. I'm talking about this center line right here. Alright, so yeah, you can just, yeah, by the way, if you like to actually you can just click on the, if you have a mouse, right, there should be a mouse roller where you can use to actually click on, so that you'll be able to actually drag your screen like this, so that it'll be easier for you to actually have a full control over your screen. Okay, so now we have to create the middle line, which is this one. You already specified the middle line, and then we can just drag it like this, and we just have to actually join it with another, but I don't prefer to actually use, hang on, let's just undo this process, because I prefer to actually use a single line, a single straight line, instead of the yeah, just like this. I prefer to draw it like this, so that I'll be able to, so that it'll be easier for us. Okay, so this is the middle line. Okay, and then there's also the, okay, so for, I think this case you can just copy this, so that we'll be able to actually, yeah, you can use a copy selection, and we have to specify the base point. Should be right here, and should be right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7 should be enough, because as for, I think that the last time I drew is 7, right? I think it's 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so there should be a total of 8 rectangle right here. I don't know what this is, but perhaps it's the lid or something. I'm not sure about this. And then we can just drag it like this. Oh, no, sorry, no, just actually, no. Let's try to undo that. If you like to actually move this thing, I forget that we will need to actually, yes, you have to actually pick it or select this particular object from the right, like this, so that you'll be able to actually select the entire lines, because this particular rectangle is made up of 4 lines, remember, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So there should be a 4. Another one is right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So you have to actually select it from the right, so that you'll be able to select all of the related lines. And then once you have done that, you just click on move, and then specify the base point, so that you'll be able to actually move it to another location, which in this case should be, I don't know, should be somewhere around here. I think you have to actually guess or try to estimate the distance between each floor, I guess, just like that. This is the second one. Again, click on move, and I have to specify the base point, and try to guess, try to estimate the distance of each thing. And I think it's right there. It should be right there. And the same goes for the rest of them. The same goes for each of these particular rectangle. And then as for these particular dot lines, right, the only thing that we will need to do is for us to actually try to, I think it's a little bit higher. Hang on, let me try to actually move this thing away. I'll try to move it away somewhere right here. And as for this one, I don't need that, so we can just delete that. And I think that, as you can see, there's a little bit of space up in here, so I think that we should move this a little bit down. Like, you can just, if you want to select this, then you can just select it from the left instead, so that you'll be able to actually move it more effectively and easier. I think it should be right here, because there seems to be some sort of gap, as you can see in this particular space, right? So let's do the same thing again. Just try to click on that and try to move it. Should be around, I don't know, somewhere. I think it's here. The same goes for this one. The same goes for this one. You can just try to move it. Yeah, should be right there. Yeah, I'm not sure, but just to be safe, yeah, it should be there. Yeah, okay, never mind. Okay, now we will have to focus on how to draw this particular dotted line, right? So if you want to draw any type of lines, firstly you have to actually click on this particular line. We have to draw a normal line first, and then we have to specify the first point, just as per usual, or which in this case you can't do it there, so I'm gonna have to do it from the outside, so that we'll be able to pierce through it like this. And then we're just gonna have to trim it back again. There should be no problem with that. You can try to click on move this particular line, so that we'll be able to, I think we should place it right here. Yeah, I think it should be right there. Okay, and then what we need to do is for us to actually create this particular mini lines, right? Mini dotted lines. So first thing first, we will need to actually trim this thing. So firstly we have to select all of the lines that are involved in this particular trimming activities. So after that, we just press enter and trim the unwanted components or lines that we would like to remove, and press escape, and we should be fine. After that, we will need to actually, okay, so in order for us to create this in order for us to actually convert this normal line into a dotted line, we just have to left click this particular line, and then we can go to this particular button right here, the second, not the first one but the second one. So, and then we just have to click on other, and then click on load, and choose the type of dash that we want. So in this case, I'm just gonna use ISO dash space right here, because it has some I mean a decent gap between each line, so that it will be easier for us to notice whether this particular line is a hidden line or just a normal line. So I'm just gonna go with that one, and then you have to click this, and don't forget to actually change your global scale factor to at least 30, so that you'll be able to actually notice the gap between each dash. Because if we were to use a global scale factor of 1, then we won't be able to actually notice the dash at all. We can barely see it. So let's try to do that, right? If you don't believe me, then I'm just going to use a global scale factor of 1, and I'm just going to proceed okay with it. This particular, as you can see, this scale is also 1. So if I were to actually create a line right here, from the example, I would like to actually make this particular line a dotted line, right? Okay, so I'm just going to click here, and then let's say I'm going to, yeah, see, you can barely, you can't see it. As you can see right here, that even though the property of this particular line has been set to dash. This is a dash. This is the line type of this particular line has been set to dash. But then, as you can see, even after we already set it to dash, we can't see any dash. We can't barely see any dash. Why? Because the scale factor is wrong. I mean, it's not wrong. It's just that the scale factor of 1 to 1 is extremely minute, or aka small. Is extremely small to the extent that you can't see. It's actually hard for you to actually see the gap between these dashes, because it is too small for us to see. See that there's hang on, there, that right there, just not, yeah, that one. So these are the dashes. It is a dash. In reality, this particular line is a dash, but the dash, I mean the space between each dash is very minute or very small, to the extent that you can't see it with from just a normal view. You can't see it because it's like a microscopic view, just like how you can't see a cell with a naked eye, because you need a microscope, a special microscope, so that you'll be able to actually see the cell, right? The same concept applies to this particular thing. So in order for us to actually notice this particular dashes, or in order for us to create a hidden line, or in order for us to actually create a hidden line or dash line that is noticeable, so we will need to increase the global scale. So we can. Okay, so in today's video, we're going to learn how to actually create this particular hidden line that I actually drew here, right there. So we're going to learn how to create each of these lines. It's pretty simple and straight. The process is actually simple and straightforward. So in order for you to actually create a hidden line, first you're gonna have to create a normal line first. So let's say that you like to create a hidden line from here to here, and then you like to actually create a hidden line from here to here, as well as from here to here, here to here, and from here to here. So the first thing you're gonna have to do is that you're gonna have to select this particular normal line first, and you just click on this. Okay, so the first thing they have to do is to change the scale to 8 to 1. I mean, this is just my preferences. I would prefer to use the scale of 8 to 1 for most of my projects. And then you're gonna have to actually go to other, and then load, and choose the type of dash that you would like to have. So let's say that you would like to have a hidden line such as this one. Then you just click on that, left click that, and click OK. Change the global scale factor to 30, and then click, and then hang on, where is it? Just now, yeah, this one. Change the global scale factor to 30, and then click OK. And then once you have done that, ensure that this particular ratio is not 1 to 1, it's 8 to 1. That's my preferences. You can also choose a higher one if you like, but in this case, you're just going to use the 8 to 1. So first thing, you're gonna have to click this line, select this line, and then you just have to pick the type of line that you want. So let's say you want a hidden line that we choose earlier, then there you go, boom. You already have a hidden line. So that's how you create a hidden line. The same goes for the remaining of the line. So let's say that you want to use this one, or if whichever that we like for preferences. Well, what about the curvature? What about the curvature? As you can see, there's a curvature right there, right? So, as for that, you just have to actually create an arc, and then you have to specify the middle point. I think, I don't know, maybe somewhere in here, and then just have to do that. So let's say that this is the arc that you want, and the same goes, you have to click this, and there you go. That is how you create a hidden line. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the other features, and let's take a look at this one that I just drew right here. So in order for you to actually create this particular circle, right, I think this particular thing, just as per normal, click on the circle button and just draw it like that. I think I'm gonna have to make it big. That's perfect. And then this is, if you can see right here that there is a slightly, I mean, that's just my decoration. So if you like to do that, then you can just click on this line here, and then drag it. It has to be from the external, so that it will be able to actually pierce it through the circle. Otherwise, if we were to actually do it from here, then the line will automatically start from here. Let's say if I want to go here to here, see, it will automatically go to the centers, which is the reason why I advise for you to actually start from the outer surface, from the external, from the outside of the circle, pierce through the circle and through the circle, just like that. So that we'll be able to actually trim this particular region later on by selecting all of the the components involved, and then press enter. Trim all the unnecessary parts that we don't want. Then press the escape button, and then go to the this one, the hatch button. Choose solid, set the hatch transparency to 50%, and then just ta-da. That's how you put some hatch in it and set some transparency. And we would like also to, okay, so as for the text, right, we will need to actually type in a single line text. No, it's actually a multi-line text. Yes, it has to be a multi-line text. So you're gonna have to specify the first corner, should be on here. The corner should be on here. So RTT. Well, I think that's just slightly more. So no, I don't want to save it. I think it's single line. It should be. Let's try to use a single line first to see if we can be able to actually get the same output. So RTT, some numbers 1 to 4, I think. RTT. Okay. Press escape. Boom. Or we can just undo that. It should be a multi-line. Yeah, it should be a multi-line. This is specified first corner, and then the opposite corner should be, I think it should be enough. Let's try to, no, I don't want that. You have to actually lower it down to, yeah, this one. How about this one? Oh no, I think that is too small. You will need to actually adjust the size of the text, so it should be around 50. Let's adjust it to 50. So RTT 1 to 4 or something like that. But I think this one is slightly bigger than the previous one, so I'm just gonna change it to 25. Yep, 25, perfect. Okay. So once you have done that, you can just click on that. Just go to the undo, press the escape button. No. Yeah, this one right here. Okay, so it's actually RTT. Boom. Yes, I do want to save the changes. So just left click on it and right click on it, go to property, choose this one, change the code, change it to rate, then click on close, and then as per usual you select it first and then click on move. Base point maybe at the center, so you can just, so that will be able to put it somewhere here. Yep. That is how I created this particular thing. See, it's the same thing. So that is how I I have to change it back to model. Okay, so that is how I drew this particular thing, just in case you're wondering how I did it. Well, the arrow is basically straightforward. If you want to draw an arrow, just do it like this, like this, and like that, and yeah, that's how I drew it. And where it? Okay, so and then the hatch will be the same. Just click on hatch, set the transparency to 50%, and then color it like that. So that will be more beautiful. Yeah, but this is just my preferences. You don't have to actually follow if you don't want to. So that is how I drew the lines or the components of this line. I already teach you how to do it. This one I already mentioned just now. You just have to actually draw a line. So for this particular component, you just have to actually draw a single line, and then another line, and then another line, and then create another line right here and right here. And then you just click on the hatch button to fill out, and it should become like that.